Hey, I love movies. What's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite movies. Um, movies. Yes, that's what I was going to say. And today I'm going to be doing a movie review on the new movie that is Broker, or in Korean, Paroka. It is a new film directed and written by Kore-eda and it is in Korean. So yeah, of course, the first thing I do after I return to Hong Kong is to watch a movie in the cinemas. You can never stop a cinephile from loving movies, okay? So I went to the cinemas earlier today, a few hours ago, and watched Broker. I'm so happy it's still playing because a few days later it's gonna go off the cinemas, it's gonna go off the screens, and I'll never be able to watch it again unless it shows in the USA or something. But I very much prefer to watch it here. So this is the new Kore-eda Hirokazu film, and Kore-eda Hirokazu is not your average director. Among the art house scene, this is one of the most prominent and well-known directors from Japan. The guy has made Maboroshi, Afterlife, Still Walking, Nobody Knows, the Palme d'Or winning movie Shoplifters, and then afterwards he went on a bit of a world tour and made a French film called La Vérité, and then now he made a Korean film called Broker. Now, not only is this strange because he is Japanese and he's making a film in Korean with Korean actors, with a Korean production company, but also he's working with a huge cast. This cast includes legendary Korean actor Kang-Ho, as well as the one and only amazing K-pop singer-songwriter IU, extremely famous, and on top of that with other big name actors as well, like Kang Dong-won and Pei Duna. So yes, this is basically Kore-eda making a mainstream Korean movie. Now, I have only watched one Kore-eda film before this one, and that is Maboroshi, which is his debut feature film. And I watched Maboroshi because I was thinking, oh, if I want to get into Kore-eda, I don't want Broker to be my first. Of course, I want to start with something that is more him, his debut film, Maboroshi no Hikari. And let me just tell you that Broker is nothing like Maboroshi. It is nothing like Maboroshi. If you watch Maboroshi and Broker, you would think they're directed by two different directors. You would not believe that they're the same director. It's not that different. There are still themes of family. Both of these films are also very soft and gentle, but the rhythm, the pacing, the cinematography, the production design, the editing, everything's kind of different. Broker, on the other hand, is so much more accessible. Loads of stuff happened. Very, I wouldn't say fast-paced, but not slow at all. Not a lot of long takes, and the editing is quicker, relatively. The only few similarities between Maboroshi and Broker are the production design and the themes of family. In terms of production design, obviously, Kore-eda Hirokazu cannot work with too much production design because he's never filmed in Korea anyways, but there are still some shots in Broker that resemble a bit of a Maboroshi with the greens and the browns that are very easygoing, occasional light blues. However, composition-wise and color-wise, Broker has nothing on Maboroshi. Maboroshi still stands as one of the most gorgeous films I've ever watched, not Broker. But there's one scene in particular in Broker that made me go, this is very, very Kore-eda. And that is a scene near the end of the film where IU and Song Kang-ho have a conversation in the train, and when the camera is looking at IU, the train goes into a tunnel and out and then in and then out, so occasionally it blacks out and you basically see literally nothing but a faint outline of IU. And that scene is really good. I really like that. Also, the Ferris wheel scene, where one of the most emotional moments of the movie has IU's eyes covered by a hand. That is also a really nice artistic touch. But overall, this movie is not really that art house or anything. And I don't have a problem with that at all, but I feel like I've gotten to a point in life where if the movie doesn't feel art house enough, it just doesn't feel as special or powerful for me for some reason. Or maybe it's because I had that expectation when I went into a Kore-eda film, thinking that it's going to be very artsy and very slow and very bold because of that. But not really. So I wouldn't say I was let down, but I would say I was a little put off by how unart house this movie is. Now that being said, though, this is still a fantastic movie. I think the performances are great. Every single character, every single actor did an amazing job. Song Kang-Ho is great as always. IU is really good as well, and everyone else is amazing. The story is great. It has a lot of heart. There are a lot of endearing moments in this movie that I really, really like. The comedy in this movie worked really well. The more emotional moments in this movie work really well. This movie is really solid from front to back. And in a lot of ways, I think this film is basically what Kore-eda envisions a Korean film should be. You know, a lot of food scenes, a lot of people eating very delicious food. I think that's a that's a funny feature in modern Korean cinema. Is it has a lot of food, it has a lot of eating and drinking, touches of humor left and right as well without compromising the drama. And I think Kore-eda did a pretty great job in that aspect. And I also really like the personal struggles. Every single character, every single main character at least, have a bit of personal struggle that you can kind of latch onto and root for. This movie also has a lot of moral ambiguity because this movie is basically about a bunch of people and the baby's mom trying to sell a baby to someone, finding suitable parents. And then there are a couple cops who go after them and follow them and stalk them basically. And it's kind of morally ambiguous because these people are baby brokers. They're selling baby. That's illegal. That is a crime, and that's bad. That is cold-blooded. But at the same time, as the movie goes along, you begin to feel for them, you begin to like them, you begin to relate to them, and I think that's really nice. And even for the cop characters, they have their own personal struggles too. Pei Duna plays the cop, one of the cops there, and she has something to deal with herself as well. In fact, you can actually rewrite the entire movie in the perspective of Pei Duna's character and make it about how a cop tries to bust a bunch of baby brokers, in turn realizing that she herself needs to embrace this love and this attitude of having a family, this mindset, this lifestyle. So in a way, this movie can be rewritten in any character's perspective and it would still kind of work. And that is really amazing. And I guess if there's a gripe with this movie, if I have a gripe with this movie, it would be that the story is a little bit messy. Because we have the central characters, we have the baby brokers and the mom, played by IU, and we have the cops, and then we have some gangsters at the side. And Song Kang-ho's character himself has a bit of a minor plot line as well. And there are several other things happening. There's this murder thing that happened, and it's like, how is this murder related to what we're seeing? And then it is revealed a little bit later in this movie that they're connected. But at first it's like, okay, why is there this murder side plot that has nothing to do with this movie? So yeah, it is a little bit messy, but at the same time I find myself thoroughly entertained by this movie. This movie doesn't try anything super artsy and super bold, and that's alright, I guess. The performances are still great, the story is still good, I still enjoy it, and I think it's a solid movie from front to back. I'm giving Broker a decent 8 out of 10. So, have you watched the new Broker from 1 to 10, which is rated like and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. About 4 days later, I'm going to watch Decision to Leave by Park Chan-wook. So, hype for that one!